Okay, so putting together a data logger, we have the graphics calculator, and this one uses AAA batteries, so just make sure they're in the right way. I'll edit this backward. Make sure you take the batteries out after you're finished with the experiment, otherwise they'll corrode in there and get damaged. That back on, turn it over, and you've got your on switch up here. Where is it? Down here. There. And you should have a screen. If it's too dark, second, and adjust. That we've got right there. And this will run apps and programs and do all sorts of things. We're mainly going to use apps. So we've got here graphing calculator, and you can see the graph there, y equals sine x. When you press graph, you should see the graph of that function, and it'll draw the functions as you do them. So if I change it to y equals 4, oops, y equals 4, and I press alpha to get the green keys, x, close bracket, you should get a different graph. You can see there, we've changed the period of the graph. Okay, so that's your graphing calculator. Just clear everything with this button here, clear. Now it's ready to go. This is our data logger. And we use this type, it's Vernier, needs batteries. You put fresh batteries in each time and you should hear this noise. When the kids are doing it, make sure that you hear that noise. Yep. And make sure when they're putting the batteries in, they don't push buttons. Because if they start pushing these buttons at the top, then it'll start collecting data before you have anything attached to it. We have a cradle, and there's little pictures on there showing how to do it, but basically this side has rails and the other side has claws for grabbing things. So the rail side will go into these slots on the side of the data logger. Like so, from the bottom of the data logger to the top. The calculator goes in the side with the claws, and that's held together. And then you need to connect the two, the data logger and the computer. Okay, so our data logger is collecting from a probe and making a voltage, and that voltage goes into the computer, and the computer records the different voltages. So if it's light, it'll record a light graph. And in order to do that, we use these probes. And on the end, you've got a British Telecom switch, a connector. Make sure that kids don't put their finger under there and break that off, because it won't work. And also make sure, looking at the connector here, you can see which side from that shape, it's a bit hard to see, which way it goes into these connectors. If you put it in the wrong way, you can break it. Now, ours is a light probe, so it goes in the channel 1. You can add 4 light probes or a light probe, a thermometer, etc. Okay, so that's in. Now, so we've got everything connected, our probe, our data logger, and our data logger is sending information to the computer to display on the screen for tables and values and things. Now, in this one we've got apps, so we want to press apps, and we want the one that says data mate. So we go down to 4, or you can just press 4 on the calculator. Once you're at the right one you want, you just press the enter key down here, same as a normal computer, and it starts loading the software. And here you can see it's detected the probe at the top, and it's giving you a readout in lux, and it says a reading that it shouldn't say, so we have to reset this computer. This is one of the reasons why we're trying to get new data loggers for teachers. As you can see up the top there, you can't have minus 999 lux. It would be extremely strange. So we're going to reset this computer. I'll do that in the next video. We're getting a false reading from our probe. And our probe's just got a photocell in the end of it. Okay, and the light goes down that tube and then records a voltage. That voltage gets sent to the data logger underneath here. The data logger then sends the voltage to the computer, and depending on what program and probe is running, will give you a readout for that. This is a false reading, so something's gone wrong in the connection of the two. So we need to reset this computer, and I'll do it so you can just see the screen there. Reset, we need to go second, because we want to use these yellow commands, and we want second, and down here we see memory, MEM. Actually, we've got to end this program first. So we clear, second, quit. Okay, it's checking sensors again, so it might work for us this time. Okay, it started working. So here we've got a light reading. Data probe, data mate, and we're getting a reading up here for our light meter, 0.0012. Okay, when I put this probe at a light, or closer to a light, the number should go up. When I cover it, or point it at the desk, it should go down, and it goes down as low as possible. It's a number between 1 and 0, 0 being dark and 1 being fully light. So we can use this, this is lux by the way, and it's just a value for light ray readings. And we can use that in different experiments.